What is up, you guys? This is Mini Superheroes Today. And boy, do we have a great video for you today. This is a review of the LEGO Star Wars 20th Anniversary Set 75243, the Slave One 20th Anniversary Edition. Now, this set has 1,007 pieces, comes with actually 5 minifigures, but only 4 that actually go with the set. We'll get into that in a moment. And of course, is a build of Boba Fett's iconic ship, which first appears in The Empire Strikes Back, as far as the movies are concerned. So that being said, this is a really cool set. It retails for $119.99 in the US, and as of this video being made, it's getting pretty rare. It's on its way to being retired, but I recently got it and figured, you know what, I have to talk about this one because it is such a unique set. So let's take a look at those minifigures. Alright, so for the minifigures, it only makes sense we start with the oddball out, and that is the 20th Anniversary Princess Leia. Now, this is a recreation of the very first LEGO Princess Leia ever made, and they put the 20 years logo on the back, which is quite cool. You can see she comes with a little display stand, too, that says 20 years LEGO Star Wars, and it says Princess Leia. So all of the 20th Anniversary sets came with a different replica figure, and, you know, the idea was, hey, if you bought the whole wave, you could collect them all. Plus, there was a Ben Kenobi polybag at one point, but they are very cool, and, you know, it's worth pointing out. So as for the minifigures, let's take a look at Han Solo up first. Now, this is, of course, Han Solo in his Bespin outfit, but it's an interesting choice because by the time he goes into Carbonite, which of course is what we're most, famous for seeing the Slave One carrying, it's kind of weird because he doesn't have this jacket. So I get that they didn't want to put him in the boring old plain white shirt, but it doesn't necessarily make sense to the Slave One, so I just figured I would point that out. Still a great figure overall, using that modern Han Solo hairpiece, and you can see you can flip it around, and you've got that little Harrison Ford smirk on the back. Some great print detailing on the back there as well, and just a great figure overall. Next up, we've got Boba Fett, which is obviously an awesome figure. I don't really like what they did with his gun this time around. It just feels so cheap. It's one of these sci-fi guns with a lightsaber handle on the end. It just feels cheap. But in any case, you can see he's got a little cloth cape here that looks cool. A great mint green jetpack that complements his helmet well. I really wish they would have given him arm printing, but I realize they saved that for the big gun sets. I do get that, but that doesn't mean I didn't wish it was there. If you lift it up, you can see he's got a standard clone trooper head, nothing too special there, and that is Boba Fett. So a very cool figure. Then, of course, we've got Forlom, which is very cool. He hasn't come in too terribly many LEGO sets over the years. This one is great with the, exclusively molded head to this character. It just looks fantastic. The instructions show him with hands that actually match his arms, but, it still looks fine either way. I just thought I would point that out. And then, last but not least, we do have the exclusive character to this set, and that is ZUCKUSS. A really fantastic looking figure. Great printing. I love this headpiece. It is really fantastic, and it's just such a great way to get ZUCKUSS. It makes sense that he would come in an Empire Strikes Back set, and it also makes sense that he would come in a set that came with some other bounty hunters. So I can't believe how long it took for us to get an official ZUCKUSS. Great printing on the back of his skirt there, too, but it really is fantastic, and I'm glad to have this figure. So let's dive in and take a look at the set itself, because that's what we're here to do. Okay, so now for the set itself. As you can see, it's actually a pretty sizably large set. Holding it in my hand here, and the first thing I've got to show you is built into the backside, which does look really great, is actually a handle that's a Technic pin. So I'm going to start holding it from this handle, as you can see here, and that's something that I didn't notice from the box or anything until I actually got into building it. So maybe that's on me for not quite paying attention to some of the details, but it does make for a really handy way to show it in a review, but more specifically to be able to play with it and swoosh it around. So that's very cool. Now, as far as the play features are concerned, on the exterior, the guns on the bottom here move independently, which is quite cool. There are 2 missiles right here, which I'll show you in just a moment. The wings actually have a little gravity to them, so you can see when I lay it on its back, or, I'm still holding it by the handle, but when I would put it in the parking position, the wings actually do move on their own. So it's pretty cool that there's enough weight on each wing that you do get the gravity that they move on their own like that. So that's very cool. And just kind of showing you some of the detail here, you can see that these bricks are these sand green sort of color, intermixed with the gray, just to show that kind of tattered look that the Slave 1, of course, is known for having. We do have some stickers up top here, some stickers on the back wings, as well as some stickers down here, and there are some stickers inside the cockpit, which we'll also take a look at here momentarily. But the other big thing that, of course, the Slave 1 is iconic for is having transported Han Solo and Carbonite, which is actually hidden right in there. So you could see that this piece here opens up, and you can actually slide a piece straight in like that, and then Han Solo and Carbonite is in there. And of course, we didn't take a look at this in the minifigure segment, because, you know, he was still hanging out in the ship when I was doing that part, but it is quite odd to me that the Han Solo and Carbonite actually does not match the hair for Han Solo, because we got the new Han Solo hair here, and this is still the old Han and Carbonite. Now, I'll take the gun out of Han's hand, because you can actually clip him in. You can see these little pins right there. You can actually clip him in there to hold your Han Solo minifigure in Carbonite while you're playing. So that is very cool. It's a great piece with printing on both sides, and of course, there are handlebars here, so your other minifigures could carry it around if need be. But once again, this little lip part down here opens up. Let's get that back in focus, shall we? That opens up right here, and then of course you can slide Han Solo in and close that back up nice and content just like that. Now, I mentioned that I would show you these missiles here, and how that works is when you flip it to the side, there are these little red tabs that are built in here, and the way that the ship's built, I can't actually really show you the way the mechanism itself works, but if you just push down on that tab for each side, almost dropped it there, so each tab, so we're going with the left tab here, so that's going to shoot out the left missile like that. I don't want to fire it out because I don't want to lose the missile, but it's really nice with these big dark green pieces here. Just really makes for a great round build. And then, of course, you can open up the cockpit like this, and you could take Boba Fett and sit him down in there. So I just took the Boba Fett minifigure, got his feet to be straight down like that, and you can see he sits there, and it's cool because, you know, when the Slave 1 is parked, as you would see it right now, he would be facing this way, but then when you move it, gravity actually moves Boba Fett on its own. So you could see there, I guess he's not, there we go, had to wiggle it a little bit, but you could see Boba Fett straight up, and then when we go like this, he goes into full pilot mode, so that's very cool. And then I do want to point out that there are some stickers on the inside here, so you could see a sticker on that side of the wall, another on that side of the wall, and a printed piece right here. So it's a really nice set, and I do want to talk about some of the things that I actually don't like. I think it looks a little too fat. You know, just the back part just looks a little too wide to me. They did a great job contouring all of these sloped pieces, but the shape doesn't work for me compared to past Slave 1s. I really like it. It's a great modern interpretation, but the Slave 1 that I grew up with as a kid is always going to be my favorite, and honestly, not even for nostalgic reasons. I just don't think that this one quite holds up the same way that the Slave 1 I grew up with does, but in any case, it is a great set, and I do highly recommend it. So drop a comment below and let me know what you think of this set. Do you own this set? If not, do you plan on owning it as a result of this review? And, you know, just drop a comment and let me know. I love talking about these sets and getting your guys' perspective on these things, so let me know what you're thinking on this, and I'll see you guys on the next video. If you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, feel free to click that subscribe button for more LEGO content coming in the near future. So, thanks for tuning in to today's video, and until next time, build on.